Hey guys, NJ here. I hope you're all doing fantastically. I know it's been some serious time since I've been around, but I'm very much back to business now. We'll be kicking things back off with this new Emax Tinyhawk Freestyle. Now, you guys know that over the years, I have reviewed pretty much everything that Emax have thrown out into the wild, and they've maintained a good reputation with me, certainly, for the quality of what they have put out. So I was very excited when I saw the press release for this and just had to get hold of one. Firstly, because you know I'm very partial to a good performing micro, but secondly because this is actually labelled a freestyle quadcopter. Straight away you can see the giveaway with having the batteries mounted on the top. Look at that. So before we get into the nitty gritty of this quadcopter, let's go and find out whether after nearly 4 months I can actually still fly at all. I guess I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Let's roll some footage. So as you can see, this flew fantastically. I was literally smiling from ear to ear when I finally got back to flying again. What a great reintroduction to flying this has been for me. Just those 3 to 4 packs that I ended up flying this afternoon, I was just blown away that something so small and light can fly so well. And the theme of this review, which I will refer back to throughout the whole thing, is balance. They've just got the balance right in so many ways. So we'll go through the specs quickly. So it's 115mm wheelbase on this. It is, as far as I'm concerned, this is a light little quadcopter. Without the batteries, this came in at 54 grams, and I think with the batteries, mine came in at, what did I write down here, 78 grams. So very light, capable, 2S, voltage, perfect, everything just felt fantastic in the air. The propellers it's using are the Avan Blur 2.5 inch propellers. I was initially concerned that these might be a bit much to swing for these 1103 7000 kV motors, but I was wrong. Absolutely perfect amount of power, and the prop felt really well suited and performed wonderfully. The flight controller, they've got their own proprietary board down here. This is an F4 board running the Maytech F411 firmware on Betaflight 4. I haven't flashed the latest version. I can't remember what decimal of Betaflight 4 this is, but it's a fairly recent one. I didn't touch the PIDs. The only thing I changed, as I do with all my quads, is I put my own rates on there. I did find the PIDs were perhaps a little bit over-tuned. So I may back off the D and the P's ever so slightly, because it did sound like there was a tad of oscillation in there, but it was super locked. Like, they did a really good job dialing this in. So yeah, I was super impressed with the out-the-box PIDs. And of course you've got the magic of the ever improving Betaflight team and all their hard work, so I wasn't all that surprised that it did so well. In terms of the receiver, that is also built in, as are the ESCs running D-Shot 600. Perfect. I don't think you need anything faster than D-Shot 600 on these quads, on these tiny quads, I should say. There is a little how many microfarads have we got here? I can't even make that out, but it's a pretty small capacitor on here. You can see 2 more capacitors on the board themselves. I'm not sure what the total capacitance is of all this combined, but whatever it is, it's doing its job. The video signal was perfectly clean, no noise at any stages of the throttle, which is something I've come to expect of Emax, and they absolutely nailed it here. The VTX is 25 milliwatts, no more. I know some will be disappointed in this, but again, we will go back to that balance argument, and I will talk about that later. It does come locked in terms of the channels. You can unlock it by holding down there's a button here on top. This button can be used to select channels and what have you, but it does use smart audio, and that is obviously the easier way to change channel using the Betaflight OSD. But if you want access to all those channels, you have to unlock it by holding that button down, powering on until the lights change, and then it will be unlocked moving forward. You can reverse the process to lock it again, but it will give you all the race band and the Fat Shark channels, etc., that are in the manual. So the other things we should mention, it has a 600 TVL CMOS camera. Now, in terms of what matters to me when it comes to certainly judging a small CMOS camera, because we all get a little bit of the fear when it comes to these tiny sensors, whether they're actually going to be any good or whether it's something that we have to immediately look to swap out, is an overcast day, and it was an overcast day today. That matters to me because we get a lot of it here in the UK, and I thought the performance was absolutely fine. There was nothing there for me to complain about. It changed nice and fast between going inside the little tree area where the light was more cut off, and then as it went out into the brighter areas. You tend to find overcast days can really test those high contrast moments with a camera and see how it reacts to being blown out. At no point when I was flying freestyle did I think this is limiting me. Absolutely not. So I feel no need to change that whatsoever. I know some people are, and maybe in your particular lighting conditions you might want to, but really I feel like for all the micro quads I've reviewed over the years, this is absolutely fine. It's doing a perfectly good job, and I feel no need to replace it. It has 2 slots in the top here. One of them slightly obscured by the battery, which is the slot that it's in, giving you a couple of different angles of up tilt. I have it on the maximum up tilt, and because it has quite a large vertical field of view, that was plenty in terms of up tilt. To be honest with you, if you tilted this up anymore, you'd start running out of power. And what I mean by that is the more you point this up, the less lifting thrust you have, the more the thrust gets propelled forwards to keep the quad moving forwards fast, but less of the thrust is directed down to keep it off the ground. And if you angled this up anymore, I think you'd start finding that it was a little trickier to actually control. So I think the 2 up tilt options are absolutely perfect. You've got a nice beginner option, and then if you're someone that's more versed to freestyle and having fun with the quad, the up tilt amount in combination with the good vertical field of view, this was doing everything I could throw at it, certainly that I would on my larger quads. So yeah, in terms of the camera side of things, absolutely fine. There is a built-in receiver. This has the FR Sky Protocol one built into it. You can, I think, can you get other options? No, I'm not sure you can. I think if you want to go to other options, you've got the breakout pads here if you wanted to wire a different receiver to it. Something like an SM Plus would be a good option. This is a D8 receiver, Shudder, I know I'm not the biggest fan of D8 either, but again, as I normally steer away from D8 receivers, I will say this: we're going back to that balance argument again. I'll come back to it in a little bit, but if you want to upgrade, you certainly can. Same goes for the VTX. If you want to break out and you want to take this VTX out of the equation and go for something more powerful, you can. There's no reason why not. But yeah, structurally, this is plenty strong enough for its weight, and that's what it's about. It's how the strength of it is relative to the weight. As I've mentioned before with these little quads, it's about the mass. If the mass is light, the inertia is low. If the inertia is low and the structural strength is good enough, then this thing will just bounce. It won't carry any energy into breaking any parts of the quad, something which we all know about on our bigger, heavier 5-inch quads. In terms of the flight times, you can see at the end of the flight I was averaging, I probably pushed it a little too far, going to about 4 minutes 20, 4 minutes 30, so around the 4 minute mark. Again, brilliant for a trainer. It's exactly what you want. You've got that extra flight time, good power. So let me just talk a little bit about why I think this is so well balanced. I know there are videos out there already about people that are going nuts and upgrading it, and you know what, power to you. If you love this thing that much and you want to do that, and you want to start upgrading the VTX, upgrading the receiver, upgrading the camera, yada yada yada, if you want to do that, go for it. It's a great little base to crack on and do that. But you know what, this is one of those quads, and you know I'm partial to an upgrade. You know I've taken some quads and gone mad with that. I think this is so perfectly balanced. It isn't a quad that you want to be flying miles away. I think out the box, this is doing what it's meant to be. This is a freestyle, brilliant freestyle trainer. The power is exactly right for something that weighs this much. All the maneuvers that I was throwing at it, it was doing. If I ran out of power, it's because I didn't execute the maneuver properly, which is brilliant. I'll have to learn how to do the maneuver better and work within its power limitations. And I think the power was just spot on. In terms of how far away to fly it, with a D8 receiver, 25 milliwatts is about right. If I had 100, 200 milliwatts, I'd start pushing the range, and the bottleneck would be that D8 receiver. So I think when you're starting to run out of video, you're about at the right distance for where the D8 receiver's at its limitations. So, and it's a small quad, you don't want to lose it, you don't want to be walking for miles hunting for it. It doesn't have a built-in buzzer, but you can use the D-Shot commands for a buzzer. Just keep it working within its limitations. You saw the kind of distances I was flying it. It could definitely go a bit further, and if you've got a good diversity receiver set up on your goggles, then you could definitely take it further and do more. I did work in and out of a little bit of foliage there and in and out of the trees, and the picture remained good. But take it for what it is, a close freestyle trainer that you can have a ton of fun with and learn a whole bunch about, and without breaking the bank. So I've always hesitated to really recommend what is that freestyle thing, that freestyle quad that you could learn with and grow with before going to something bigger. I think this is absolutely brilliant. It's light, it's not going to hurt anyone, it doesn't make any noise, it's super quiet, you've got good flight times, the batteries are cheap, the parts are cheap, the parts are accessible if you need replacements, it's tough as nails, and as I said, I think the 25 milliwatts, the D8, it all just fits and balances out this quad. As I said, that is the theme of what I think this quad has done. It's just got the balance right. And Emax, I can tell every time I look at Emax stuff, there's just great attention to detail. They really do a great job with their beta testers and just get everything so where it's just tweaked and doing exactly what it's meant to do straight out of the box, and does it well. So look, here are my final thoughts. I think if you're going to get one of these, get it, leave it, play with it, have fun, learn to freestyle with it, or even if you're like me and you've been freestyling for years, this still left a massive smile on my face. This is definitely getting lots of flights. I'm definitely going to get some more batteries for this, and I'm going to put up some more flight videos for you. But all in all, yeah, this is just a huge recommendation from me. There are going to be links in the descriptions of this one if you're interested, guys. I've also got a coupon as well, so you can get a little bit of a discount. These are affiliate links. Obviously, it won't cost you anything, but it will help the channel out. And yeah, it's just great to be back, guys. Please come and say hi in the comments, even if you're not normally someone that comments on my videos, but you do watch. Just say hello. It's good to know you guys are still out there. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Have you got one of these? Are you thinking of getting one of these? Let me know what you think, and I will be seeing you again very soon. There's another quad that's hit the bench, which I'm looking forward to reviewing, so I'm going to get straight on with that one. But in the meantime, take care, and I will see you guys very, very soon.